Hey guys, so I'm super excited to be sharing with you the new feature on the Gameplans platform over on the Compass page. So historically we were able to do up to 4 different scenarios, which some people would like some more on that, but I think it's really key to have, only 3 or 4 different variations of what it is that you actually want to do. And then, use the assumptions or same metrics for each of those so that they are like for like, apple for apple. And then doing oranges and pears and everything else against each other. So we had these 4 scenarios and they ran up the top here, and you could do some different ones and sort of see how they looked. The only thing historically that was a bit of a pain is sort of jumping in between and trying to reload all the charts every time and see sort of how they change. So we've added this new compare feature, which allows you to compare scenarios just based on the 2 main things, which is portfolio value and passive income. So I've got 3 scenarios that I've done. One is a principal place of residence purchase, another one is another residential purchase, and then the third one is a commercial purchase. Using different base assumptions, so obviously the principal place of residence doesn't have any rental income coming through. The residential property might have like a 3 or 4% yield, and then the commercial property might have a 6 or higher percent yield. So using different metrics and different growth rates between the two. So what we can see here is that there's a big spread difference between our principal place of residence purchase. What is a $3.3 million portfolio today will end up turning into a 19 or nearly $20 million portfolio over 20 years. And that's because we've used a higher growth rate on that principal place of residence. So the base properties in the portfolio are still at 5%. For this PPOR, I've used 7% though. Based on the residential portfolio, which allows us a little bit more cash flow coming in through higher rents or additional rents, the portfolio based on same purchase price, but based on a 5% growth rate, gets us to 14%. So we can also already see here there's nearly a $5 million difference over 30 years just at the different growth rates between a typical residential property or a really A-grade asset principal place of residence. And then the third one is the commercial play, and the commercial growth rate that I've used is 3%. And we can see here that gets us to $11 million over 30 years. Now, I know there's plenty of people out there, and there's even a good friend of mine who says that commercial property doesn't grow at a lower rate as residential property. And I tend to agree, there's no way that you could have a $2 million residential property in an area and then a commercial property next door that sells for $200,000. They do increase at the same rate over time, but we're just using some assumptions here to understand, what is the common consensus and how does that spread change out. So in terms of growth wise, if you purchase a really high A-grade asset, compared to a commercial property that might not grow as well but does have better cash flow, there's a difference of almost $8 million over 30 years that you could be using out on opportunity cost by going through something like that. But the reason we do that is for the passive income side of things. So now we have the passive income breakdown on the 3. So if we go for the commercial property, we're positive around 50 grand a year. If we go for the residential, we're still neutrally geared today. So commercial property obviously having a fair bit of income coming through. And then if you went for the PPOR, you're actually negative 60 grand a year, and everything's on interest only. We roll over to P&I after 5 years here. We can see the impact. Roll over to P&I, we actually go negative 100, and just on the residential, we go negative 22. In the commercial, when we roll over, where we were 97, we've now come down to 40. So from 2027 onwards, we're now P&I on all of our loans. And from here, we can really see the difference. So if we do go commercial, we can actually get up once all the loans are paid off over these couple of years. These are the last sort of where the loans are sort of rolling over and we're not longer paying P&I repayments. We can get to a positive income of nearly $500,000. Now that's in a 30-year time frame, so that's not inflation adjusted. So that's not in today's dollars. Remember that as well. It just does seem quite high. With the residential portfolio, we get to about 300K over that longer term time horizon, with the last couple of years really sort of ticking up there once we've paid off all those P&I loans. And then finally, with the principal place of residence, we'd have a completely paid off principal place of residence, so no debt on that, no debt on the whole portfolio, and we'd still have a passive income of 130K, which might seem good into today's dollars, but over 30 years, that passive income might be, only about 50k or 40k in today's dollars. So it might be significantly less. And so these are the things that we consider as we're doing different plans and understanding where we want to be. You know, do we want to retire a little bit earlier, have some stronger passive income coming through? Not retire, but not have that, you know, requirement to have to work. Would someone much rather be in a position where they're earning, you know, 50k a year passive income rather than having to pay 60 grand a year towards their principal place of residence? And this is the whole delayed gratification piece, because they can either enjoy that now, which some people want to go. They want to go and do holidays every year and enjoy life today, and that makes complete sense. Other people are okay to be in a place that they love and they're comfortable with and happy to contribute more towards the portfolio. And if you do delay that gratification, you know, you could be $8 million better off over 30 years. Where if you want to enjoy today and go on doing holidays, I mean, you know, it might be a bit awkward or hard to travel when you're 60 or 70 or 80. Does get harder as you do get older. So you might want to do that today. And if you do enjoy that today, that's fine. You've enjoyed your life today, but it might cost you sort of $8 million over that longer term time horizon as well. So really good snapshot of comparing all the scenarios together, guys. Hopefully you enjoy that little feature. It's also an add-on to all the other cool charts that we have historically as well, but nice little feature there just to compare.